Hello and welcome to Paper Plays Julie K.
Welcome everyone, and thank you so much for stopping by to check out my latest video. And today I'm here continuing to work on my pocket reference junk journal idea book. It's all ideas for different pockets and junk journals. And today I'm just kind of playing. While I was traveling, I watched a couple of YouTube videos, and of course I should have written down my notes of who the videos were, and if I can find them, I will try and link them below in the description box, because I think the ladies that had these were very genius. I saw a couple different people do them. One of them was in like someone's like idea journal, and then once I saw it in her journal, then I thought, well, I wonder what that's called, and I started doing like some searches on YouTube. And then I think the name of the technique is called like fan blade pockets. And so the original one I saw, and what I did was she called it a fan blade, I think, or fan. And she had cut out some pieces that look like fans, which I didn't have anything, but I did have this like die cut that's a bookmark one. And what I did is I just traced around it on a piece of index card, just because I wanted to try this technique, and I thought it was kind of a cool idea. And so I made, you know, a few of these just to play with, because I just wanted to show you guys what. And again, I think I saw this in someone's idea book that they had done, and I don't remember who it was, because it's someone I normally don't watch. But at any rate, they kind of had all these fan blades, and they lined them up kind of like this, I think. And then they had a tag, and then they put their stuff in like that. So that's kind of the premise. And I don't think I'm going to use these ones. I am going to save them though. And I'm just going to attach them like on a paper clip in my journal reference book here. But then I saw somebody else, and they did it with triangles. And they called it a fan blade pocket. And so I had a couple of like triangles, you know, squares that I had cut up into triangles. And I thought, well, maybe we can try and do this together. You know, I kind of played with it real quick before I started filming. And I don't mean to to be confusing to people, but this is a brand new pocket idea for me that I've never done before. And in the couple that I saw, nobody actually had like a full tutorial on it. So, you know, what I realized though is I think you want to work your way from your bottom to the top if you want the pockets to work out. And I think this one's only going to be able to fit 4 on there. But so now if that was on there, I would be able to put a pocket here, and a pocket here. You know, it'd be cool if I had enough room to do another one, but I don't, unless I really want it to stick off the page, which I don't. So I'm going to try to figure out how to glue this down and still have it make sense for pockets. So you guys will just have to kind of bear with me that this will not be a perfect tutorial, because I am learning. And again, this is just my reference, my own personal reference journal. It's not, you know, then this is a perfect place to try something new. So this is a page for that. So I think this works. So what I think I did, I just pulled out this little like fine line glue that I had, because I think like this one in the end, I think wants to go, I'm going to have to glue it across the bottom. But I think for right now, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue just right here in this corner. Because I think then I'm also supposed to put glue, I think, right here too. So maybe from here to this corner on this one, I'm going to put glue. And see, I don't think I want to put glue right here because I want to be able to stick something in there. So I'm just putting glue on this tip and then just on this edge right here for right now. Because I think if I were to put glue there, then I'm limiting myself to the size of the pocket. So we're just going to try this and see how that works. So then on this next one, that I'm gluing this next one underneath it. This one's going to go there. So let's just line these up again. And I guess if you guys have seen a tutorial on this and you have a better way of doing it, please share the video with me. So that still fits on the page, so this needs to move over a little bit. I think this is just kind of one of those little futzy ones, but I think it'll be really cute when it's done. So I'm again just going to put a little glue right here on this next piece, just right in the corner, just to get the pink one glued down. And then again, I think I want to glue from here to here. And that should, in theory, make a pocket. And then I think it'll also have a pocket the long way, in theory. So then I just have this last one. So then, again, I'm just going to glue just right underneath this piece, right on the top there. And that should hopefully glue all these together. And then I need to glue from here to the end. Okay, so I think that works. So this is kind of what it looks like on the back. And I think it'll still fit. I mean, if it overlaps the side of the page, I can just trim it, so I'm not worried about that. This is where my fold is. You know, if this is my journal page. Okay. So I think that still works. And I have pocket there, there, and there. So I have 1, 2, 3 pockets. And then I would have this pocket. So if I glue it down, then I'm going to glue it down this way and across the bottom. All right, so I might have to trim a little bit off on this side, but that's no big deal. I should have just probably had a little bit smaller triangles. And again, I just started off with the square that I just cut in half, but let's look at what my square size would have been, just so you guys know if you're wanting to do the exact same thing here. So this one must have been a 5 by 5 square, so maybe I would make it next time a little bit smaller, maybe just like 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. I think that would have been better. So then let's see if, in theory, if all my pockets here work. So I have this pocket, I have this pocket, and I have this pocket. And then I left this as one big pocket back here. So yeah, I think that'll work. I don't know that I have any sample. Let me see. That's kind of big. You know, that one would be too big for that pocket, but it would be okay for these ones. So yeah, so there's that one. And then, so that took me, what, 10 minutes or so. So that, again, I'm just going to call this a fan blade triangle pocket. I don't know. I think one person called it a triangle pocket. One person called it a fan pocket. So I think I'm still good on that. And then I decided to try this kind of the same idea with, I had this die cut right here. By Spellbinders. It's just it's like actual triangles, not like triangles like this, like pennants, you know, kind of. And so I thought, well, what would that look like if I did one and made it a little bit smaller? So these ones are, if you measure down the middle, about 3 and it almost comes to the 4 inch mark, almost the point, not quite. So I know I cut too many of these, but I thought, well, let's just try this. Because I wanted to try kind of the same thing and just see what it would look like with this type of triangle. And not quite sure what kind of orientation I want it here in my journal. But now I'm wondering if I were to, so, you know, there's all sorts of different ways you could do it, I guess. You know, this one went from the middle. So let's go on this one. Let's go on the outside edge. Oh, and then this one I forgot. I should have glued down this side too, instead of all 3 sides, to make it a pocket instead of a tuck spot. Sorry about that. I kind of spaced that out. So back to this one. I just want some different examples in here since this is a totally new pocket, but I think this is kind of the same idea that I just did. Except this one, you could put something that way in the pocket. Okay, so I think this one will still work kind of the same as what the last one did. So just got to glue in a couple different spots though here. And again, I'm starting from the top and working my way towards the bottom. Because I think when I tried it and did the bottom towards the top, I ended up having like goofy pockets. So then this one right here, when I glue, this one just isn't going to be quite as easy as the other one for gluing. I just need a little bit of glue just right in there. So that still lines up. So then let's put a little bit of glue on the bottom of this one and get it lined up. And again, I'm just putting glue just right here at the tip of these, and I'm just kind of playing with it and eyeballing it exactly where I think it should go. And I'm just trying to attach this piece just a little bit to that one so it doesn't go anywhere. You know, I almost could get this one in, but not quite. You know, maybe if I moved it over. Just trying to visualize, and then how would you decorate it? Would you add like some sort of embellishment down there to cover up this part? And then you'd still have, I thought I had some little grungy numbers sitting on my desk here. You know, I'd probably, on this paper, of course, I'd probably put a flower or something, which I don't have anything really. I'm just trying to see what little pieces I have sitting on my desk. Here's a number. You know, you could do some sort of little cluster thing or something right there, I think. Because you want to make sure it doesn't go over your fold. Well, let's get this next one glued on, and then I'll make a decision if I'm going to add that other piece on there. And I'll try and hold this up so you guys can just kind of see. I'm just trying to glue, you know, right along here where I know it's going to hit this piece for the pocket. I think I do want to try and make it so that it goes off the page. Because you can put it like a little, I think a little circle embellishment or something right there, and down here, or a half circle, something. I think that would be really cute down there. So yeah, let's try and get this so that it lines up. Like I said, there's probably an easier way to do this than what I'm doing it, but this is how we learn. Try and talk through it. So I think that's kind of cute. Because now on this one then, when I glue it down, I think I'm going to glue it across this way. And then I'm trying to decide, no, you know, because I thought about making this into a pocket right here too. But I still think I like the idea of the bigger pocket. So I'm going to glue it across here and up there. So here to there. All right. So let's see if it still works as a pocket. So it functions as a pocket that way. You can add something this way, and right here, and right there. So you still would probably have a tag sticking out there, which would look kind of cute, I think, you know, make it look like a tab or something. So yeah, I think that one works. And then then I had one more idea kind of on that variation that I wanted to, and I think this one will work too. I'm not too worried about this one. So on this little bookmark set, it's from Our Daily Bread. It's a Spellbinders one. And it was just the bookmarks one. And it had this little tag on it. And so I thought, well, can I do the same idea just using tags? And this particular tag, I'll show you guys what it looks like here. Actually, I already had the hole in the top of it. So then when I saw that, I was like, well, can I put a brad or even an eyelet in it? And I think I can, because, which this I think is even easier than that. So I'm wondering if you couldn't even, if you had a big enough spot down here, if you could do the same thing and put a hole in the bottom and a brad and then fan them out. That actually might be easier, but. And then this one, so I cut out a whole bunch of those tags. And I'm thinking I could do kind of the same idea, but this one I was thinking of actually putting it this way in the journal. So here's my fold line right here. Let me just ink the edge here so you guys can see where the fold line is. I'm thinking I could just glue it, you know, go like this and glue these in place this way. And again, we still have all of our pockets like that. And this one kind of even looks more like a fan. I think if you had smaller tags, you could do it this way, and it would definitely look like a fan. But then the other thing I was thinking of, like, what if you were doing like a Thanksgiving journal? You could almost do like a turkey tail, or like even like a peacock journal. I was thinking if you had feathers, maybe you could do something like this and still make the pockets. So I think there's a lot of little ideas you could do with this style of pocket. But I was just happy that this tag fit on here to do it this way, because it's just kind of an easy way. And this one looks more like a fan anyways, I think, than, you know, if I would have used those original ones that I showed you guys that I cut out, that I chose not to use because they were too long. You know, I think this one will work. So let me find my glue and kind of do the same thing. You know, I suppose if you wanted to, you could probably measure and make it even more exact if you wanted. But again, I think this one just has so many possibilities for what you're going to do. And so here I'm just going to glue just a little bit because I just want them to stay in place. I'm just going to glue just right at the kind of the tip here. Just because I kind of like how this looks. So I'll try and hold it up just so you guys can see. You know, I'm just putting my little glue in there as far in as I can get it. Just putting a little dab in, and there's still a little bit of wiggle room to maneuver it a little bit, just to make it the way you like it before it's going to dry here. So I think on this one, all I'm going to do is just put a little dot of glue on the top parts, because there's not much I'm going to be able to do there. Give that a second, and I think that'll be, so it actually is kind of like a little fan, I guess. You know, I think there actually is die cuts out there too that are fan blades. If I remember correctly, I just don't have one. I have a lot of die cuts, but I don't happen to have one that's a fan. But I think that's really cute. Like I said, I'm so envisioning like a peacock feathers going that way. All right, so then this one, I'm going to have to make some decisions here where I want to put the glue. Because if I want to pocket here, 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 and here, or if I want to pocket this way, then I would put glue here and here, and then have another pocket, you know, a bigger pocket this way, which, you know, that could look kind of cute with a couple tags sticking out of it that way. So I think that makes sense. So I'm going to put glue there and along there to glue this, and then of course glue here at the base. You know, if you wanted to, you could glue the whole thing down too, but I just sometimes like to have the extra, because I think you can still put a couple tags in this way, and then you can still put tags, and they don't seem like they're going to interfere with each other this way. So I think that works. I am not putting tags in my actual journal. Just I'm trying to keep the bulk out of it, just so I can have as many pages as possible. So I think that's super cute. So yeah, I like that. That's a really cute idea, I think. Again, that's a new idea for me. And I'm going to, once I get off camera, I'm just going to call these like fan blade pockets. They're just, you know, this one's more of a fan blade with a triangle, and same with that one. This one's with a tag. And then the only other thing that I wanted to do, just another little basic pocket that I don't think I've done in my journal, and I can't do it on this page because of what I did here. So I have another journal page started here. And again, this one's a very, very basic fold. So maybe we'll put it in the middle of this one. And I maybe should have moved this out just a little further when I glued it down. I think I'll be fine when I sew in my signature. Because I can still fold it, so I should be good. But this one was just kind of a fold down pocket. So if you start off with a page like this, a journal page, and you just fold down the top, you can make a pocket. So I'm going to go ahead and do that then on this one. And then that'll be the last one I'm going to do for today's episode. This one was just kind of a basic one that I forgot to do earlier on as I was looking at the pages I've already done. And you know what, I maybe should have inked the edges a little bit, but I'll just ink them on the outside just to make them stand out a little bit. And I probably also should have put a little notch in that one, but that's okay. So then this one would have a pocket this way. You probably want to use a little bit shorter tag though, like this in there. And of course I would decorate it with, I don't know if any of these pieces that I have left that I didn't use, I could maybe add that one on here, just since I had an extra piece. Let's just go ahead and decorate this one just real quick. Or not decorate it, but just kind of set it off, I guess. You know, and then you could add another little embellishment on it or something. But that doesn't match, obviously. And I don't think I mentioned it in this video, but I'm just using up old Hobby Lobby paper pads in this idea journal. So they all just kind of have like a vintage kind of style to them. These ones right here were an old Prima pad. Those ones were a little bit thicker. All right, so I might as well start another little signature in my new idea journal, or this one maybe I'll put on the outside. I'll just go like that. Yeah, we'll go like that for now. So thanks again, everybody, so much for watching today's episode and sticking with me while I tried to figure out how to make those fan blade pockets. I do have these ones that I kind of showed you at the beginning of the video, and I'm just going to keep those in this pocket just to kind of have that idea still on if I wanted to play with them a little bit later on. So I'll just stick them in there. So yeah, we did 1, 2, 3, and then this quick 4th page for today. So we have 4 little pockets to add to our journal. And again, thanks everybody so much for watching. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day, and hopefully I'll see you guys again next week for another episode.